What is up, Bill 2025?
It came so quick. Oh my gosh. But happy holidays to you, belated holidays to you, your family, and everyone watching and listening. Hope you had a wonderful holiday season.
Oh, yeah.
And now, dude, it's 2025. Like you said, what's going on in the UAP area? I think we can expect quite a bit coming up this year. There's a lot of information back, behind the scenes.
If the rumors and speculation circulating are accurate, then things are going to kick off this week. I'm hearing from multiple sources. There are some members of a team from a black site coming forward this week. Out of respect to the people that are putting it out, I don't want to go into too much detail. And I mean, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But that's just you've heard the rumors.
Yes.
I've heard from people pretty close to it that it is going to happen. The big question to me is, what evidence are they going to bring?
That's the key, because I'm hearing stuff behind the scenes without, like you said, being cautious, not putting names out there, about the next upcoming hearing and what they're planning for that hearing and the possible individuals that could take part of that hearing. But even if you bring, I'll just loosely say it, well, I might as well just put it out there, direct witnesses to events, you still need the evidence behind it, because people are going to say, okay, they're telling us a story. We've heard the story before. Those familiar with this field have heard many, if not all, of these cases that are discussed. And it's like, this is more for the public, the general public consumption when they have these hearings. You know that. And a lot of people that are watching and listening know that too. It's like, what's new? What's going on? For us, that's what we're looking for. We want more. We want more evidence, documents. But the problem is, and you know this from the frustration behind the scenes, especially with congressional officials, trying to get that information by even entering a skiff.
Yeah, and there's the thing. If they get into a skiff and they get the info, the public's not getting it.
Exactly.
It's classified. So it's kind of a catch-22, you'd say. There could be plenty of evidence. None of us have the clearances to see it. So like you said, we're left in the same spot. Compelling stories, but where's your proof?
But the thing is, I'm not even counting the Gillibrand hearing with the new Arrowhead. That was just ridiculous, in my opinion, to even when I watched that. It was like, this is nothing. But the other hearing, when Lou was there and Mr. Gold and I forget who else was there, but when they had those people there, Lou said, if I don't want to quote him exactly, I'm paraphrasing, that there are documents that could be made available to the public. So let's see them. It's so frustrating. Give us something. But think about this, Toby, and this is something to consider. Even if the government was to release documents, images, video clips, the first thing people are going to say is, that's fake. They're putting out disinformation and there's some type of an agenda, and all the other conspiracies are going to come out from everywhere. The rabbit hole is going to just open up, and it's going to be, this is part of a false flag. This is to control the narrative. You know how it goes. So even if you were to come out with information and put it out there to the public, the first thing they're going to do is question it and doubt it. You know that.
Well, it's funny because naturally a lot of people covering this topic and following this topic don't believe our government, because you're saying there's over 80 plus years of cover-up, but in the same breath they want the government to release the proof. So how do you trust the people that you don't trust are giving you the actual proof?
Exactly.
I've heard it said, I think Bigelow is one of the most famous people that came out and said, you're never going to get disclosure. You'll get confirmation. You'll get confirmation, but you're not going to get disclosure.
all under the guise of national security, because it's part of that. I mean, obviously, you can't release classified information, but this thing, like, even I think Lou touched on this as well. The technology that's used, they want to protect how we gather intel and data in video clips, let's just say. But that can be just like a document. When they blacken it all out, it's all redacted. They can do that on video too. There's no excuse for that. That's how they obtained the data, what kind of technology was used to get that information. There's ways to do that. So to me, that's I'll be honest, a BS excuse. Give us something. But at the same time, look, we know somebody, and I'm just going to throw the person's name out there because he's willing to come forward and he said it publicly. Robert Salas, Maelstrom, a direct witness. Okay, yes, he may have been underground at the command center when the Minutemen missiles were shut down, but there were other people above ground that seen this object hover and create havoc at that facility. So there are people out there, like Mr. Salas as an example, that are willing to come forward. But the thing is, you need to, and he did meet with Nancy Mace after the hearing. There are people that are willing to come forward, but you still need the documentation to back up what happened there that the government has in their possession. Now, this is, how old is this? 50 years old, almost? And you're telling me that stuff is still classified that happened 50 years ago, that can't be declassified? Maybe it can't be. But really, Toby, really?
Well, and I'm going to bring it back to what you said about with the video, redactions, cropping of the videos. I'm going to bring everybody back to starting in February 2023. The first of 3 objects was shot down over the United States and Canada. You remember this?
Yes.
Crazy reports of what they actually were, from a cylindrical object to a hobbyist balloon, which we shot down. Wasn't true. That thing was still flying. Mm-hmm. No video, no answer. I sat in on the Pentagon briefing on Super Bowl Sunday when he came out and said, we can't rule out extraterrestrial. The guy from NORAD said that. Okay, all this, and still, years later, we've gotten one crappy, well, no, I shouldn't say crappy, but one photocopied image released thanks to a Canadian journalist who's been on it. So where's the video and photo for that? I've emailed Susan Go, and I always get the same response. That's all still classified, or it's not set for release. I ask you this. The same year, within months, Chinese spy balloon is brought down. What do they release? An HD photo from the cockpit of the jet that shot it down, I believe, of this balloon. I mean, crystal clear as day. If you can release that and the other ones were just balloons too, why have they not released those?
Exactly. Our friend Martin Willis was on vacation, I believe, and he actually filmed the balloon being shot down by the aircraft. He has video of that, our friend Martin Willis. And he posted it when it came out. He just happened to be there at that time. So a lot of people did capture, other people capture video of that. But yes, why can't we see that? Like what you referenced to. It's laughable. It really is laughable, Toby. It's just to the point of frustration. But like we were touching on certain things that are being said behind the scenes. There's been a lot of discussion, and he was even questioned. I saw a clip from Cuomo when he had Lou Elizondo on. Would you be willing to work for the Trump administration on UAP transparency? And he was like, I haven't been asked, but sure, I would work for my government again and serve in a capacity if they asked me. I don't know because there's a lot of people talking behind the scenes that he just might take the role in the administration, or this is all just bluster and talk, but that's out there too.
Yeah, and I think what's brought up a lot of that talk recently, especially with the Trump's recent comments is the drone incidents that have been happening.
Yep.
And I mean, if you recall, this didn't just start towards the end of last year. It's hard to say last year. I think
It's been going on for a long time.
Colorado, what was it, in earlier that year or the year before? These things were showing up in formations for days and just disappearing. Langley, yep. So it's not a new thing, but then we start getting these reports all over New Jersey, which is heavily populated. And then people start posting descriptions online, photos, videos. A lot of it, they say, is misidentified planes. You have Congress people coming out and saying, we don't know what the hell these are. Then you have the FBI and the Department of Defense saying, it's nothing to worry about. They're all flying legally. It's not a threat. It all leads up to finally someone asked Donald Trump the other day, what's going on with the drones? And he said, I'm going to disclose it, my first day, second day in office. Do I believe that? I don't know. To me, he has shown that he's not interested in the topic. And that's talking to people that I know that are in the military, former military. They don't see him as being a disclosure president. I don't know if he will be or not. I don't follow it closely enough, but let's see if he does come out with, what are these drones?
When he was on Rogan, he said that I don't have a personal interest. I'm like I said, I'm loosely paraphrasing when I saw this. I'm not particularly focused and interested on the subject, but I did speak with the pilots, and I think they're great people. They're trustworthy, and what they told me, I believe what they said they seen. So, he's open-minded, but I see him as also being very cautious, which is a good thing. And I guess he wants to be more prepared. But think of it this way. Like you mentioned about the drones, because Lou Elizondo brought that up on the Cuomo show too. It's not just about the UAPs, it's about the drones too, and what's going on now. But if you were to be a person in a position that you don't necessarily know, like the details of the people that are involved in this field, right? Like the big names that are involved, like a Mellon, some of the others that are hard at work doing this, even like our friend Steve Bassett, even Dr. Greer, whoever it is. But what's a name that I think President Trump or President-elect Trump soon will be president, but what's a name do you think that he would be familiar with? Louis Elizondo. Yeah,
because he's been on his son's podcast. He's been in the news quite a bit. I mean,
that's what I mean. Even when Trump was in that last administration, that's when this stuff started coming out anyway. So he has to be pretty much, I think, familiar with at least the name of Lou Elizondo. So that might be a person that, to him, is worth putting in an administrative position. He's familiar with the name. I'm sure he'll have people that are giving more information. But wouldn't that be, and I'm just saying this fairly balanced, wouldn't that be a twist of irony after everything Lou Elizondo has been through to be given a position in the administration? That would be incredible. And I to be honest, I've spoken to him briefly in the past. He's been through a lot. He's been through a lot of personal attacks, discrediting, but that goes without saying with all the other whistleblowers as well. That goes across the board. But I think that if he was offered the position, seriously, that he would take it. And that would be such an ironic twist, almost full circle on everything that's going on. And I know there's going to be a lot of people that are for it and a lot of people against it, obviously. But I would like to see that happen for Lou. I would. After everything he's been through and all the bashing and the intimidation and the threats and what his family has gone through. Do you know what I mean? From a human level, it would be interesting to see Lou take that position if offered. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I've met Lou and his wife. They both very nice people. I've interviewed him. I know he's a controversial figure, to say the least. But like you said, anybody's going to be. And I kind of want to bounce back for a minute here because you brought up another name that ties into what's going on right now. Stephen Greer, Dr. Greer. I mean, you want to say controversial in this topic, he's probably number one on that list.
Absolutely.
And here's where things took a wild, twisty turn, and it might be leading up something. It might not be.
I know where you're going because I saw the same thing, but let me see if it's the same thing. Go for it.
So, a Cybertruck in front of the Trump Casino in Las Vegas blows up. A manifesto is emailed to Sean Ryan's show and a couple of others.
Yes.
It's a pretty high-ranking Green Beret that did this. And in this letter, he states, hey, this is anti-gravitic tech that we have and China has.
Yes.
It was developed at Area 51, Groom Lake. And so this is where Greer ties into this. He's been hitting the media rounds lately saying this was one of the people associated with the Green Berets he knows that are coming forward from this black site. And lo and behold, we have rumors of people coming forward from a black site this week. I can't say on what show, and we don't know what proof they're going to bring forward, but
that's for them to bring out.
And Greer's saying, these are the guys I've been talking to. So if this does happen, and I'm not saying it's going to, how is the community going to feel about Greer being in the middle of all of it, considering not just the controversy around him? I mean, you have the CE5 sessions where he allegedly was throwing flares out of a helicopter. You have him attacking Lou Elizondo, which is kind of what also made me bring this up. And Lou Elizondo kind of went back at him. So
why wouldn't he?
No, he should have. But what's interesting is Lou Elizondo is with another organization called the UAP Disclosure Fund.
Right.
And they released an email stating they are providing legal representation for an upcoming unknown whistleblower that's supposed to come forward soon. So I checked with my sources to see if this is the same people that allegedly are coming forward this week, and I was told no. So are we going to have two different camps of two different opinions, two different people, controversial in their own rights and for their own reasons, bringing forward competing whistleblowers? I mean, is it going to be one narrative on this side and one narrative on the other?
But that happened already. Because we knew, and we were careful. We knew. And I remember being at Roswell when this stuff was breaking, because there were people there present that were involved with this. When we knew who David Rush was, but it was in public. It was in March I think it was in March when I was there with you. We knew who he was, but we were told, don't say anything. And we didn't until it was actually released in the public domain that he was coming forward. But what happened? It was on News Nation, his interview with Ross Coulthart, right? What happened the next day? Dr. Greer has the Washington, D.C. press club thing where he's bringing whistleblowers forward. It's like a competing narrative going on. Yeah, you've got Grush coming forward, but not to let that be out there. He's got his thing. Now, is that coincidence because of the timing? Because he has to book the event ahead of time to get that date set at the National Press Club. But it was kind of odd to see the timing of that. You have Grush the night before, literally, on News Nation, and the next day you've got Dr. Greer doing his thing. Now, I will say this. I don't look at things in a personal way, in a judgmental way, though, yes, there are questions about everything. Credibility is involved, all that. But if a person is part of bringing disclosure out there, so be it. It's not necessarily about the individual, the messenger. It's about the people delivering the message. So I want to see who these whistleblowers are. And Toby, and they're trying, look with Burchett, trying to create even more protections for whistleblowers. If I or you were a whistleblower, would you really want to come forward and put yourself, your family, your livelihood, your reputation at stake? For what? To be ridiculed, people are going to be out to discredit you, to destroy you, to threaten you, etc. I mean, I know, speaking to people that we know, because they're having conversations and trying to figure out who they want for the next hearing. A lot of them don't want to come forward. They don't want to come forward because they don't want to be put in that position. And it's kind of a sad, tragic thing, but that's just the reality. Now, there are a few that want to, but I don't know if necessarily that those are the people that fit the criteria that they want to be in the next hearing. Because I think the focus is going to be on nuclear facilities, anything related to nuclear. That's what I'm hearing. But look at our friend Mark D'Antonio. Why can't he be at a hearing? And even though it's a brief statement he could make, he was on a nuclear sub. And I trust Mark 100%. When he says what he says, he was on that sub. He heard Sonar, the operator at Sonar, say, we got a fast mover, a USO, moving at, I don't even know the exact number because I don't want to misquote it, 100, 200 knots, which is incredible speed. And he witnessed that. A fast mover. Is it a torpedo? No. It's something else. And no mammal, no sub, nothing moves man-made that fast. So what was it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what about that? And they documented it. The commander, probably the CO, said, okay, log it. That's it. But what happened to it? Did they take it and remove it from the records? Like you would think there would be a record of that, right? Is it classified? Can you classify something like that? And Mark is a direct witness on a nuclear sub, witnessing that himself, right there next to the sonar operator. I mean, how much more can you have? Yeah. Now, that's not to say we know what it is. It's a USO. We don't know. Now, is there related sonar data? Just like over bases, okay, like Salas, for example, we mentioned him earlier. Wouldn't they, you would think, have some kind of radar or other information that would validate the movement of this thing, whether it was hovering over the base? Where is it? It's classified. Would they release it? I don't know. That's the problem, Toby. That's the problem.
Well, and I think back to when you're talking about whistleblowers not wanting to come forward. If, in my perspective, when I look at it, I try to look back at a more recent whistleblower that's come forward. How did it work? How did it happen? Grush, while he was a very, very good witness, he came forward in official manner, official capacity, which, he did the right thing. But then I think of someone like Snowden. He tells his boss, I'm sick or whatever, and he flees to China before he releases what he's going to release. And, I mean, he's been on the run, Was he living in Russia now?
I think he was in the UK. He was detained in the UK, but I think the case has been thrown out. I think he's good to go. I think I have to look into it more. I don't want to put out information that is not accurate, but
fair enough. But I'm just saying he left the country before he said anything.
Yeah, he was in Russia for a while
before he came forward. More recently, I think of the Boeing whistleblowers.
Yeah,
and we're talking about a private company. 3 people died within a week that were set to testify.
Yep.
So if these people coming forward have the biggest, most earth-shattering news in probably human history. Look, there's life out there. It's visiting us. We've captured their craft. We've captured their bodies. We're using this stuff to make new technologies, and different governments are bidding on it and whatever. Who's to say someone wouldn't step in and say, wait a minute. Yeah, you're not going to be talking about that.
I agree.
So it like you said, the authenticity of things, they can come forward with all the proof they want, and it can be very compelling, but I wonder if anything short of one of these creatures or craft being put on public display for people to come see themselves, is anything short of that really going to push things forward? Which leads me to my next rumor. So we'll keep the rumor mill circulating here. Let me switch my tabs.
I agree with you, though. What is it going to take to for the public to obviously say, this is real, this is going on, because it will be tooth and nail to the end. I can't even think, because you have all different types of groups. They're going to say, we're dealing with demons, we're dealing with this, it's fake, whatever it is. How much evidence is going to be enough for the public? I don't know. What you just brought up is so important, because is it going to take an actual engagement on live TV? Even if it was live on TV, people are going to say it's fake. It's somebody. It's CGI. That's why I'm saying, even if you did, it's going to be, forget about it. It's a Pandora's box. How much is it going to take to actually, I don't want to use the word convince, but to show the public that they are convinced this is true evidence?
So let me throw this at you. Here's an example of another thing rumored to possibly be coming forward this year. Coyame, Mexico, UFO incident, right? August 25th, 1974, apparently a UFO collided with a small airplane in Coyame, Mexico. Story goes, Mexican army arrived to get it, and the U.S. military showed up to take it from them. A firefight ensues with the U.S. killing the Mexican soldiers and taking this craft. It's a story. There's books written about it. There's everything. So someone in Mexico right now claims they have a copy of the video of this incident taking place, of the actual firefight with the craft in sight. And it's been rumored since, God, I have to get used to saying last year because I'm losing my time here, 2024, that the video's there and they were looking at ways to possibly release it.
Wow. So in that story, allegedly, this is part of what I heard, is that they removed the craft and brought it to Atlanta, to the CDC, because they had to protect the environment from some kind of biological or some type of a hazard. So that's what I heard. I don't know if you've heard that part, but when they took it to Atlanta, to the CDC, to contain it, and because there could have been some type of a hazard involved. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's accurate or not. You know who we should get that did a lot on that? Ruben Uriarte.
Oh yeah, and he wrote the book on it.
Exactly.
I posed to you though, say this video does see the light of day. There you're talking about evidence, right? Now there's several factors I want you to run through. What's the first thing running through your mind? Are you going to believe it's real, or with the power of AI now, filmmaking industry, are you going to say immediately fake? Because I have to think, if your mind sees something you don't recognize and can't make sense of, it's almost like the uncanny valley syndrome. You know what I mean? It's going to feel off to you, so it's going to feel fake. It's just a natural instinct. If this video comes out and the provenance is proven of it, what does that do for the topic? Does that move it forward? Does that make it more controversial? To me, you have the aspects of militaries from two different countries fighting over a craft. And I'm not saying any of this is true or any of this happened. I'm just saying this is the rumor that's out there. I've heard from the person that supposedly has the video. What would that do for the topic? Because you're talking about evidence.
Here's the thing. When you say he has the video, this is the 70s. What was it recorded on? What kind of a copy of the video does he have? Do you know what I mean? Like, is it on a VHS tape? Is it on the actual video recording itself? Like, what was used to make this recording? It can be analyzed and figured out if it is accurate to the time frame that supposedly it was recorded. So there are ways to vet the video itself to put like a timestamp on when it was made. You know what I mean? But I'm interested to see what type of video is this? Is it on a flash drive now? Like, where's the original is what I'm saying. I would like to know where the original is. And
with, of course, a lot of these rumors and sources that, that's the kind of information that I was not provided. So
right.
I can't answer it.
That's the thing that enters my mind. Is that the original video? Because that will say a lot that it hasn't been tampered with because it was made in the 70s. Right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that kind of stuff can be tested, but what do you think a video showing that would do? Like between our government and the Mexican government, that's not going to go down well.
No.
Having that made public, that's...
You might have, if that were to come out, first of all, the person that you're talking to, I would hope that video, if it's real and that it's super protected, and that he, because if they're going to be watching him carefully, because they would love to get their hands on that video so it never gets released. That would be my, I guess, rational opinion on that. But if it were to come out, remember when all this started with Tic Tac and Lou Elizondo did, what was that show that they did on cable, the history or whatever?
Unidentified?
Yes, unidentified. And the government knew that they were going to be doing this stuff. They tried to get ahead of it by releasing a statement, about all this stuff that was going on. I would think they would try to get ahead of this in the same way, and talking behind the scenes with the Mexican government, maybe, about what's coming, so that they're on the same page on how to approach this. But I would not doubt that the Mexican government and the United States government would make some kind of a public release before this video was released to get ahead of it. That's what I'm saying.
So here's another interesting angle that you brought up, the Tic Tac. And sorry, I'm not exactly on the ball today, but it was either the Tic Tac video or the Go Faster Gimbal video. Actually was online back in like 2014, posted to the Above Top Secret forums, posted on some German movie site. The exact video that the government ended up releasing, it was out there. It was in the public sphere. And you know what people said? Bullshit.
Yep.
This is fake. There's no way this is real. Yep. And then TTSA happens. All this happens. Lou and Mellon get these videos out. How was this video on this message board years before anybody knew about it with the person talking about it? So how do we know that there isn't a video like the Koyame video out there online already and people just automatically assume it's fake?
Yeah. But that happens across the board with anything. Yeah. The first assumption is going to be, this is fake. But the thing is, it has to go, not to get off topic too much, look what's going on with our friend Pavel. His involvement with the Nazca mummies, his research on that. Or that thing that we had on a few weeks ago, that meteorite, or that, whatever that was. There is stuff out there for the public, but it has to be vetted. It has to have scientific analysis. And just like this, the forensics of the video is important to show that it's a credible video. In my opinion, I need to make sure that, just like we're careful like you just did a few minutes ago, not saying this is true, this is all alleged. We need facts. We need science to back up anything that's put out there to the public. It just has to be. It has to be credible, has to be vetted. So until that process happens, it's alleged. It's not. It's interesting. It's fascinating. But, until some experts look at it, and then that's a question in itself too, Toby, because some of them are going to say one thing, another one's going to say another thing, and it's going to cause all that confusion. And they never can agree. You know that.
Yeah. Quite the conundrum, huh?
It's like, oh boy, whose opinion are you going to take on this?
Yeah, I mean, the Nazca mummies, I've been covering that for a couple of years now. I think it's a fascinating case. I don't agree with a lot of the information that's being held back. The DICOM files, for example, where people could actually go through and look. I was trying to help push to make those public. That kind of information needs to be in the hands of everybody. Yes. I feel like. And you can't hide behind saying, oh, well, we don't want people to manipulate them and say that that they're fake and this proves it. You know what? At the end of the day, one of the quickest ways to solve things is to make the data public.
Exactly.
Which brings me back to Arrow. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, go ahead.
One thing from the Arrow hearing with Gillibrand and the new head that I thought was interesting is he actually discussed 3 or 4 cases that they had not solved yet.
But he added, we need further data. We don't have enough data. We haven't collected enough data on it.
So here's the thing. These cases that they're looking at now, they're also looking at public cases, not just military.
Yes.
And that's when you get around a lot of this, the censored data is classified. If I record it with this, guess what? I can send it to you and you can do whatever the hell you want with it.
Yep.
So looking more into the public sphere could, open things up.
I have a video like that.
Do you?
I do. Something that I captured over my house in 2014.
Well, where is it?
I have it at my computer. I can show it. If I had the time, I would have set it up that way to show it here. But it shows, and I'll do it in a future show. It shows, now at this time, I had cameras pointing straight up, like 4 of them, but they were Samsung SCB 2000s, like some old CTV, like security cameras. So I took out the IR filter inside of it to make it better for low light. It was September 18th. I could actually pull it up while I'm talking because it's on my channel, on my YouTube channel. But it was, what I did is I would record the videos on a DVR system, like a big box that would record it overnight. And then I would go through the footage the next day. And I see this thing in the sky curving. And it stops and it illuminates for a split second. And then it goes, whoosh, gone. And I'm like, at the time I called it a UFO because the UAP phrasing started more recently in recent memory. But a lot of people told me different things. Just like I was saying about when you have people look at stuff, they come up with different conclusions. From anywhere that is a UFO to a meteor breaking up in the atmosphere, which I don't buy at all, that theory, personally. Or as I was talking to a friend, a Russian researcher, he said it was part of what he called the Terminator program. And this was where they would use drones in space to take out satellites or any other kind of threat, an adversarial threat, that we have drones in space. So I don't know what the heck to make of this video. Now, hopefully I can find it while we're live. But like you said, it's about the public now getting information out and putting them maybe credible. You have to think that they're looking at the databases for a lot of these places that get the cases to come in without getting specific on names. Do you know what I mean?
Supposed to do the wink wink.
Example, you would think they're contacting MUFON for their database to see what kind of cases they have and look at it and picking and choosing which ones they want to look further into. You would think. Or New Fork or any of these other places that have reports coming in. You would think, right? I would think. Because they even said at the hearing, it's not just going to be military personnel, but also civilian in nature. So, to me, that opens up everything as a possibility. So, I'm just hoping I can find this video because I would love, I know why it's not showing up. Because it's in my other YouTube channel. But what do you think? What's your take while I do this?
I think before even seeing your video, they were coming to take you back home. They took one look at what you've become and said, nah, he looks too happy down there. Let's leave him. He's producing shows. He's having a great time. We can't take the little guy away.
You know something?
Go ahead.
True story. I used to go to Mount Talk a lot. And I saw something in, I think it was 1999, 2000. And I do have the clip for that, but I'll do that another time. But I saw something over the ocean that was unbelievable. Lights, colored lights, flashing, clear night, no aurora borealis. These things were flashing. There was a few of us. Somebody ran out from their house. Okay. My mother ran to the hotel room. She was scared to death. She thought we were going to get abducted. Okay. So Chris Garitano, he's a filmmaker. He made the film Montauk Chronicles. He sends me a deleted scene of a shark fisherman right off the lighthouse. Now, I'm in the town, so I'm south of his position. He's seen the same thing I did. He was on his boat right out there. The same thing. I couldn't believe it. Now, sadly, the person is no longer with us, the captain, sea captain. But that really made me feel like this is telling me that this happened. You know, it's confirmation that it's just not us. There were other people that seen this as well. It's such a coincidence, you know? And this happens all the time. And like you said, it's about ordinary people having extraordinary experiences.
Yeah. I can even actually recall, I believe it was 2023. I got contacted early in March. I believe it was an Air Force veteran whose wife was a traveling nurse. They were staying here in Roswell. East of town, he was recording these lights that were shooting down what appeared to be spotlights, like searching for something.
Mm-hmm.
These beams. He invited me out to investigate it. I didn't make it out there, but it would be in July that same year. Maximo, when he came to the U.S. for the first time, my wife and I saw the same thing.
Wow.
And speaking of corroboration, I talked to my nephews months later. They were walking in a park and saw the exact same thing we saw that night. So
see, that's what I mean. It's like you don't know because you were in experience on your own. I mean, you know, with yourself. But there are other people. That's like the Berkshire's UFO case with Tom Reed, Tom Warner, all those other people. So many people seen that. Hundreds of people seen that night. In 1969, it was Labor Day weekend, I believe it was 1969. So even though it's word of mouth, did you see something? Then you find out that many people seen it as well. It wasn't just you, and that's how it happens. But some people might call it like a mass hallucination, or like everybody was imagining it. You know, they come up with all kinds of excuses to try to discredit what everybody's seen. So, yeah. Now let me explain this to those that are watching. Now, for those listening, I'm going to play a clip. There's no sound associated with it. So, just so you know, you have to be watching this right now on the KGRA YouTube page or Rumble, Facebook, etc. So, for those that are watching, this is a loop. And I put the video on my TV so I can take my phone and zoom into it so you could see it better. It's looped and zoomed in because of that. So let me play this. Look at that. Look at that thing. And it's curving. You see how it's curving?
yeah, that's instantaneous stopping and acceleration.
Exactly. And this is 2014. I'm going to see if I could stop it. Look at that. What is that shape? Does that look like a meteorite breaking up?
It's doing everything in the wrong order if it is.
Exactly. It looks like a propulsion system in the front with two small ones in the back. This thing illuminates like it's powering up, and it goes whoosh, right back out.
And for anybody that doesn't know, there's a reason he's called Bill Skywatcher. This guy is extremely familiar with meteorites and all these things.
Yeah. Oh my, even a flock of geese, dude. They come on the screen, people get excited. It's just a flock of geese because it is
a really cool video.
I have some of them.
Triangle shape.
Yeah.
The V formation.
Oh yes. Oh my gosh. It's just geese, folks. You know. And like I'm studying right now. I'm in preparation to get my drone license as a licensed operator.
Lord help us.
But there is a limit to your drone by law, 400 feet. Unless you go near a structure, then you can go above that a certain amount of feet. But these drones, you know, people fly them all the time, these civilian drones, and they're supposed to be registered, obviously. So there's something else going on here too with that whole drone thing. Just to get back to that for a second. But dude, look at that. Look at that video.
That's
And I'm not saying it's extraterrestrial. I don't know what it is. That's the point. I don't know what that is.
yeah. Somebody please write us, explain to us what it was.
Somebody, please tell me what that is. And that
I didn't know meteorites stopped and then change direction when they're disintegrating.
Well, they could get close to the atmosphere, bounce off the atmosphere, and then go back out.
But not stop
This thing is curving
and then curve off.
And it's got a shape. It's not like a meteor that you see breaking into pieces or shattering. It's one uniform shape.
Well, and like I said, you know enough about this. You keep up with meteor showers, all these sightings and everything. You would have known.
Yes.
And you're also smart. You know how to check flight radars. You know how to check it. You know, once you've been doing this long enough, you know immediately. It's like if I see something, I immediately pull up my phone. Where's the ISS? Can it be spotted where I'm at? I also have flight radar on my phone. So if I'm out and I see something, when I get called out, hey, can you explain this, this, and this? Guess what? I already checked source A, B, C, D. So now you tell me what it is.
Yeah. Back then, I wasn't thinking of Flight Radar 24, even though I have it now when I do sky watches.
Well, I don't know that we have planes that do that. So, exactly. I mean, I don't know about them if we have them. How about that?
Can you imagine the G-forces stopping and then shooting off like that?
That's why I think it has to be some sort of time dilation if they're moving like that. That makes the most sense to me.
Yeah. And that's why I lean more to, and this is just me, I don't know about them coming from within our galaxy, Milky Way or whatever. I think that either they have such a vast use of technology that they're able to bend time and space where they can create that envelope that they can travel from point A to point B in such a rapid way or interdimensional nature. I don't know. That's why this is so fascinating, Toby. You know, this is a fascinating topic.
Well, you know, I agree. And I grew up on, what was it, the book series by like Time, Unexplained Mysteries they would have. And it'd be, you know, cryptids, UFOs, all this. To me, the mystery of it is what makes it exciting.
Yes.
Because when you look out and think, oh, we have the answers for everything, that's no fun.
I'm sorry. Even if we get the answer, let's just say disclosure happens, and the whole world is at stake. It's almost like the movie when the day the earth stood still, because everything's gonna just like be like it stops. Everybody's just gonna be now focused. No matter what you're doing, it seems this would probably be the focus of everyone. I would think, unless you're in some area that you don't know what's going on,
or you're in the younger generation.
Yeah, right.
They don't seem to care.
But it's like, now what? So it opens up that new chapter. Okay, they're here. Now what happens? We know that this is real. So are we talking with them? Are we trying to communicate with them? Do we have a relationship with them? How long have we been trying to communicate with them? You know what I mean? What countries are involved? What countries are not involved? What role of government? Is it the military? Probably. Who else is involved? Are there scientists? It's almost like the movie Arrival.
Yeah. Me and Pavel were just talking about that the other day. He's like, the language thing.
Yes, because it's not going to be that cut and dry, simple.
I'm not going to show up and say, what's going on? How you doing, everybody?
Unless they've been studying us for so long that they have an understanding of the use of our languages or sounds, mathematics, whatever it is. Unless they've been monitoring us.
What if they're future humans?
I always think that too, Toby. I always do. Even Interstellar, that movie it's a little complex for people, but it's brilliantly made when you think of the concept in that movie. Because here's another thing that I've heard out there from numerous people that we know. And I kind of say, what if hundreds of thousands of years in our future, We are underground dwellers because the surface of the planet is no longer habitable. So now we had to go underground. Would we look like grays from lack of sunlight? For our eyes getting bigger due to lack of light? Our skin, do you know what I mean? Our appearance, our heads, they say over time will get larger over evolutionary process. So could we look like these little grays, or even any gray or anything like that in the future down if we were to stay here on Earth?
I'm completely blanking now, but there's a movie about a group of women that go exploring caves. And it's basically that. These aren't people from the future, but they're people that evolved underground.
Is it? I know what you're talking about. It is something. The movie has something to do with cave. Yes, I know.
Yeah, they're down in the cave, and these people have evolved down there, and they basically become creatures. Like,
yes, I seen that movie. That was The
Descent. The Descent.
That's it.
Oh, I hate when that's right on the tip of your tongue, and you just can't think of what it is.
So who knows? Who knows? Who knows if they've been here for thousands of years?
It could be more than one thing. They could be coming from out there. They could be coming from the ocean as well.
Yes. Dude, if anything, I like the ocean theory.
We don't know anything, next to nothing about our own ocean.
No, and it's so deep to the pressure that what if they can be sitting down there? Ha, 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 ha. You can't come to us because you can't get down here. And they're just at the bottom of the ocean because they know we can't get down there. Could be that simple.
I mean, it very well could.
There are, you would think there are some type of, I can't think of the word, but like underneath the oceans, there's got to be areas where you can go into these canyons and not be seen with any kind of detection. And you can just hide in one of these caverns that are under the water, deep under the water. You know what I mean? These trenches. That's the word.
Yeah.
A trench.
It's like you said with Mark on that submarine, and then you had, I think, it may have been Lou Elizondo was talking about, there was reports of something the size of a city block moving at several hundred knots underwater.
He said at the hearing that that things were moving at thousands of miles per hour. I mean, what was it? Thousands? I forgot exactly. Dude, when I heard the number, I remember he made a reference of thousands of G's. Thousands of G's. Forget about tens or hundreds. He said thousands. I was like, can you imagine something moving that fast? Oh my gosh. And because they were breaking down. We only got like a minute left. They were breaking down like what an aircraft could take the pressure of at G forces. Like what it would be destruction after like 15, 18 G's, disintegration. Well, these things were moving at thousands of G's. So it ain't ours, Toby.
Be liquidated.
Exactly. Incinerated like. Anyway, you can wrap it up. We'll be back next week. Hopefully.
Hopefully. Yeah, hopefully we're not fired, I guess. Thanks, Bill. Everybody, happy 2025. God, that feels so weird to say.
Really?
Another year. Let's see what happens this week. If any of this pans out, that's interesting. We'll have more to talk about next week. But either way, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next Monday.
Have a great night, everybody.
Run.